Imagine discovering a letter written by a king hundreds of years ago. A message sealed in wax, hidden in palace archives, written in mysterious symbols no one could understand. For centuries, these royal messages remained silent. Historians could see them, scholars could study them, but no one could truly read them. Until now. Because modern technology is doing something historians once believed was impossible. Artificial intelligence, digital imaging, and advanced cryptography are finally revealing the hidden messages inside ancient royal letters. Messages written by queens, messages sent during wars, secret political instructions, hidden alliances, private emotions, and sometimes dangerous royal secrets. Secrets that were never meant to be revealed. Today, centuries later, technology is opening those messages for the first time. And what we are discovering is rewriting parts of royal history. Because behind every crown, there were secrets, and those secrets were often written down, just hidden in codes. History is filled with letters. Letters written during wars. Letters written between kings and queens. Letters sent across continents. And letters hidden deep inside royal archives. But not all letters were meant to be understood. For centuries, many royal messages were written in codes, symbols, numbers, strange alphabets, entire systems designed to hide meaning. These coded letters protected royal secrets. Secrets about politics, secrets about alliances, secrets about betrayal, and sometimes secrets about love. Many of these letters were discovered long ago. Historians found them in palace archives, hidden inside chests, locked inside royal libraries, stored inside sealed collections. But there was one problem. No one could read them. The letters were there, the ink was preserved, but the meaning remained locked. For hundreds of years, some historians believed these messages might remain unreadable forever because the codes used by royal courts were often extremely complex. Each king or queen might use a different system, different symbols, different cipher rules, different substitutions. Sometimes the codes even changed during the same conversation, making them almost impossible to decode. But today, something remarkable is happening. Technology is doing what centuries of historians could not. Artificial intelligence, digital imaging, pattern recognition software, cryptographic analysis. These tools are finally beginning to unlock the meaning of ancient royal messages. Messages written hundreds of years ago. Messages never meant for public eyes. And what historians are discovering inside those letters is extraordinary. Hidden alliances, secret negotiations, private fears, unexpected betrayals, and emotional moments between royal family members. Moments that were never meant to be recorded in history, yet somehow survived. Written in ink, hidden in code, waiting for the future to uncover them. Because behind the official story of royalty, there has always been another story, a quieter story, a hidden story. And now, piece by piece, technology is finally bringing that story to light. To understand why so many royal letters were written in secret codes, we must first understand the world in which these monarchs lived. Royal courts were not peaceful places. Behind the beautiful palaces, glittering crowns, and ceremonial events was a world filled with political tension. Every decision made by a king or queen could change the future of an entire nation. Every alliance could shift the balance of power, and every message carried enormous risk. In many periods of history, sending a simple letter could be dangerous. Messengers could be intercepted, letters could be stolen, spies could read royal correspondence, and once information fell into the wrong hands, the consequences could be catastrophic. A secret military plan could be exposed, a hidden alliance could collapse, a private royal negotiation could spark war. Because of these dangers, royal courts began developing complex methods to protect their communications. They created secret alphabets. They invented coded symbols. They designed entire systems that replaced normal words with numbers or strange characters. These systems were known as ciphers, and in royal courts across Europe and beyond, ciphers became an essential tool of power. Kings trusted them. Queens depended on them. Advisors carefully constructed them, and messengers carried coded letters across kingdoms. To anyone who intercepted those letters, they appeared meaningless, a confusing collection of symbols, random numbers, strange patterns. But to the intended recipient, those symbols carried critical messages, sometimes messages that could determine the fate of nations. Royal archives, silent witnesses of history. For centuries, many of these coded letters remained hidden inside royal archives. Royal archives are some of the most fascinating places in the world. They contain documents that record centuries of history. Inside these archives are treaties, marriage agreements, military plans, personal letters, royal decrees, and sometimes messages written in codes that no one could read. Historians studying these archives often discover documents filled with mysterious symbols, lines of numbers, unknown alphabets, strange characters that did not belong to any known language. At first glance, they appeared almost meaningless. But historians knew they were not random. They were carefully written messages created to protect secrets. For generations, these coded documents sat quietly on archive shelves. Scholars examined them, experts attempted to decode them, but many remained unsolved. Some historians spent entire careers studying these documents without fully unlocking their meaning. And as time passed, the mystery surrounding these letters only grew. What secrets were hidden inside them? What stories had been preserved in code? And why were they written so carefully? The art of royal cipher creation. Creating a cipher was not a simple task. Royal courts often employed skilled scholars, mathematicians, and linguists to design secret communication systems. These experts worked carefully to create codes that could not easily be broken. One common method was called substitution cipher. In this system, each letter of the alphabet was replaced with a different symbol. For example, the letter A might be replaced with a triangle. The letter B might become a circle. The letter C might become a number. To anyone reading the message without the key, the symbols would appear meaningless. But with the correct cipher key, the message could be translated back into its original form. Other royal codes were even more complex. Some systems replaced entire words with numbers. For example, a number might represent a specific person. Another number might represent a place. Another number might represent a political idea. These systems made it extremely difficult for outsiders to understand the message. Even if someone intercepted the letter, they would see only numbers without meaning. Royal cryptographers also changed codes frequently. A code used today might be replaced next month. This constant change made the system even harder to break. Letters written in times of war. Many coded royal letters were written during times of war. War created a constant need for secret communication. Kings needed to coordinate armies. Queens needed to manage alliances. Generals needed instructions. Diplomats needed guidance. And all of these messages had to travel across dangerous territories. If a messenger carrying an uncoded letter were captured, the enemy could instantly read the message. That information could change the outcome of a battle. It could reveal military positions. It could expose secret strategies. Because of this danger, royal courts relied heavily on coded letters. Messengers carried sealed envelopes across mountains, rivers, and hostile territories. Inside those envelopes were messages that could only be understood by the intended recipient. Sometimes these messages traveled for weeks before reaching their destination, and when the recipient finally opened the letter, they would use a special key to decode the message. Only then would the true meaning appear. Personal royal letters, hidden in code. Not all coded letters were political. Some were deeply personal. Kings and queens often lived lives filled with public attention. Every action they took was observed. Every statement they made could become political news. Because of this constant scrutiny, some royals used coded letters to communicate privately. They wrote messages to trusted advisors. They wrote letters to family members. They wrote letters to romantic partners. Using coded language allowed them to express thoughts and emotions that might have been dangerous if revealed publicly. These personal messages are some of the most fascinating documents historians have discovered. They show the human side of royal life. They reveal fears, hopes, private struggles, and sometimes unexpected moments of vulnerability. For centuries, many of these emotional messages remained hidden behind layers of code. The role of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is now playing an important role in decoding ancient documents. AI systems are extremely good at recognizing patterns. When historians provide a digital image of a coded letter, advanced software can analyze thousands of possible interpretations. The system examines symbol frequencies. It compares patterns with known languages. It searches for repeated sequences. Over time, the AI begins identifying possible meanings behind the symbols. This process can take enormous computing power, but it allows researchers to explore possibilities that human analysts might never notice. In some cases, AI systems have helped historians break codes that remained unsolved for centuries.